Hi everybody, welcome back to Sherry Tries That, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to try a form of batik. For those who don't know, batik is a technique that started in Indonesia, and originally it was done on materials, cotton, linen, muslin. They put wax on the material in whatever design they want, and then they dye the material. So where the wax is, the dye doesn't get through to the material and it stays the original color of the material. Then you wash it and get the wax off, and you're left with the pattern in the original color of the material where the wax was. So this was used for clothing, and it was also used as artwork. So you might do it on a big, sheet of some kind of material, do that, and then stretch it onto a wooden frame and hang it up and display it. My sister, decades ago, did a huge batik sun and then stretched it on a frame and gave it to me, and I loved it. I wish I still had it. I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, I'm going to do a form of batik. So I'm not going to be using a loose piece of material. I am going to be using material that is already stretched across a frame and stapled. This is just from the dollar store. And I already had some of these, so I wanted to use these. When I first thought about doing this, I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to use wax, and there is a form of batik now that uses glue, so you can use glue to dot on or draw on your designs that will resist the dye. But then I thought, hey, wait a minute, I do have wax. I melt wax every day because I have two wax warmers. One is in the living room and one is in my bedroom, where you put the little squares of wax in the dish and then you turn it on, and it's just a light bulb within a globe. So you've got your globe, you've got your little light bulb, and then the glass dish sits on top and the wax is there, and just the heat from the light bulb melts it. I will insert a picture of what I'm using. This is my wax warmer. I had to turn the light off so that you could actually see it, but that's the globe, and that's the glass dish that sits on top, and the green are the melted wax melts. And so I've got a little dish of melted wax right here. So I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to try the wax. I do have some clear glue as well, and if the wax doesn't work, then maybe I'll try the glue one, or maybe I'll try them both just to compare. We'll see. We'll see. In traditional batik, you put the wax on in the pattern that you want, and then you take the piece of material and you dunk it in dye. And the dye will dye the material except where the wax is. Then you rinse it. Usually you will then rinse off that wax as well, and then you let it dry. And if it's a piece you're going to display as artwork, then you would stretch your canvas or your material onto a frame and staple it, and then you can hang it. I am not going to be using dye. So there's another method that you can use, paints. And you just paint it on, and the wax keeps you from painting where you don't want the color. That's what I'm going to try doing. So I am going to try using wax, and I'm going to use paint, and maybe we'll try the glue and the paint. I'm just hoping my wax will come off without me having to wash my fabric because it's already on a frame. Anyway, we'll tackle it as we go, and let's see how this turns out. In true Sherry fashion, I'm going to use whatever is sort of out and closest to me. I am using like a dotting tool that is intended for nail polish, but I don't know why it wouldn't you do the same thing. I was actually hoping for a larger dot, but this is what I have found, so I'm going to see how this goes. Um, I might try other things, a toothpick, skewer stick. We'll see. Okay, this tool is not working. The the wax is drying on it just as soon as it touches it. I don't know if it's because that's too small. I'm now going to try a paintbrush. This isn't working a lot better. For some reason, I'm surprised that the wax is green, even though the wax melts are green. This could take forever. If you've watched me for a while, you know that I'm not the most patient person around. Okay, this is what it's looking like. I'm not thrilled with it, but as I've said many times on my channel, I am not naturally artistic. But this is what I'm going to work with, and now we're going to do the painting. I am going to put some paint out. I feel kind of sad that I'm not using dye. Dye is the traditional way to do batik. But I just don't think it's going to work with what I'm doing. So maybe I feel like I need a green. Maybe I'll do a part 2 at some point with dye and have a piece of material that's not pre-framed. All right, let's give this a try. I am wondering how I'm going to get the wax off after this dries. Especially since some of it is not very thick. Oh, gosh. Okay. Here it is painted. I'm going to give it some time to dry, and then I'm going to see if I can get the wax off. Okay, I've got a lot of paint left over, so I am going to try one with glue. This is not a brand of glue I've ever heard of. And it looks, I was hoping to find gel glue, but the dollar store didn't have any. So I've got this clear glue. It says it's washable. So although we don't really plan to wash this, but anyway, it feels really runny. It feels really thin. So let's see. Let's see. I don't think it's as thin and liquidy as I thought it was. So let's do a design. Okay, I'm obviously going to have to let this glue dry before I paint. But if you can see, that's my picture. And, whoops, better not tip it up. If I were to start painting on this, I would only be spreading the glue around. So I am going to let this dry and come back to it and paint later. Okay, I have finished painting this one. I can't even see where the glue is to get it off. So I think that after this dries, I'm going to have to dunk it in some water and hope that that dissolves the glue. The glue says it just says washable. The only instructions are how to unclog the tip if it becomes clogged. So, buried under this paint are some fish and some bubbles. And I'm going to have to figure out how to get them up to the top, but I'm going to wait till the paint dries. So let's go back to the one that had the wax. So here's what it looks like now that it's dried. I can see the wax, so I'm going to see if I can kind of peel it off or scrape it off or something. All right. I've rounded up a couple of things to try to use. I just found that I have this scraper. So got one of these and a corn holder, corn ear holder, and my trusted friend, the wooden skewer. I'm actually going to start, I think, with the wooden skewer because I think it would be less, potentially less invasive. Okay, so that was not only wax that just popped off there, but paint. I can tell that it was the outline of a bubble. Oh gosh, this is actually going right, if I'm not careful, this goes right through the material. So I'm going to have to be very careful. like most of the glue off. It's hard to tell. But this is the finished product. So this is the finished product. I'm not entirely happy with it, but I'm not entirely unhappy with it either. Okay, now I'm going to try the glue one. First, I'm going to see if scraping does anything, but I really don't think it is. I think I'm going to have to dunk it in some hot water and find out what happens. I don't think scraping is going to work. There's nothing that's raised to try to scrape off. So I'm going to fill the sink with hot water and dunk it and see what happens. It might just make all the paint run. I don't know. That would make me sad because I quite like this. I like it as it is painted. So I would hate for this to just be ruined, but that's what we're going to have to do to see if we can get the glue to come off and the white to show through. All right, here we go. Fingers crossed. I'm not really sure what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting the glue to dissolve and the white parts to just kind of suddenly appear. I'm thinking that's not what they meant by washable. I'm disappointed because I think I liked what I drew on this one better than what I drew on the first one. Drew with the glue. Hold on. I think I'm seeing some things. And maybe I'm just seeing some things. I feel like the glue, oh, I feel like I can see. Oh, I feel like I can see the glue I can see it underneath there. Now what I do about that, I'm not sure. I'm going to take it back and see if I can scrape it off. See if I can see it when I take it back and scrape it off. Yeah, I'm able to see this stuff now. Ooh, I wonder if I should dry it, like blot it. I'm gonna leave it there for now. I would love it if I could make this one work because I think I liked this one better. Okay, the paint's not coming off, which is good. Ooh. Okay, let's take it back and see what happens. All right, let's see if we can make something happen here. doesn't blow off like the other stuff because it's wet. I wonder if I should let it dry and then try to take it off. I don't know. If it dried, would I still be able to see it? And I realize you probably can't see it there. It's very faint. It's very hard to see. I'm going to work away at it and see what happens. I frankly don't have time to let it dry and then try it again. And I'd be afraid that I would lose being able to see what I could see, or what I can see now, if it dried again. I don't know. Okay, I've pretty much finished getting the glue off of this. I found that if I tipped it, I could see where the glue was. Maybe if I let it dry even more, it would have been more easily seen. I'm not sure. I'm finding that the paint that I scraped off is not coming off the board easily because it's wet. If I let this dry completely, I could probably blow a lot of this paint off more easily, just scrape it off with my fingers like that. But it is still wet, and I really need to finish this video so that I can get it posted. So this one isn't as good as it's going to be, but enough that you get the idea. I also found that there are places where I scraped the paint off, but the glue is still there. You can see it, it's like a faint blue. And remember, this glue is very blue. It said it was transparent, but I guess it can be light blue and still be transparent, I guess. Anyway, in a way, I found the glue to be easier to remove than the wax. It's just that you need to probably wet it, then let it dry, and then take it off. So it's more time consuming that way, but I think I found this actually a little bit easier, and I think that if this were dry, it would be even easier yet. So I kind of hate to show it to you this way because it's not great, but if it's a lot drier after I finish editing, I will insert a picture of it. Let me get what I can off of here and show it right side up. Yeah, it looks pretty rough. But um, basically, that's it. So there are my two versions of batik, one with wax and one with glue, using paint, not dye, using canvas that's already stretched and framed, not a loose piece of material. So really not authentic batik at all. But it's kind of a DIY version, I guess. Um, I would say they both turned out. Um, strictly speaking, they're what batik is. I put a resistor, either the dye or the glue, on the fabric and then covered it in color, in my case, paint, and then removed the resistor to reveal the picture underneath, I guess. Um, Are they fantastic? No. But that has to do more with my lack of artistic talent more than anything. Um, I do think this one is going to look better when it's dry and I can get rid of all the little bitties of paint that I've like scraped off but are still kind of sticking to it. I think that one will look better. The dye one, it's okay. Again, it's my drawing that maybe I don't love. If somebody else had drawn kind of a picture for me and I had gone over it with the wax or the glue and then painted it, I think I would probably like it a lot better. But they're not bad, they're okay. This was a long process, not fast and easy for sure. Especially if you do the glue, because what I should have done was, after I, finished painting it, let it dry, which I did, but let it dry, then submerge it in the water, then let it dry again, and then take the glue off. I cut out the step of letting it dry after putting it in the water. So if you did all of that, that's a bit time consuming just because there's a lot of wait time in between. Um, so neither of these were like quick and easy crafts kind of thing, but they were interesting. Um, I was listening to a true crime podcast while I was doing them. So if you do something like that while you're doing them, then, it can be kind of a nice way to pass some time. Um, when I was taking the glue and the wax off, it's kind of satisfying, as you see sort of the picture be revealed, kind of thing. It's kind of fun in a way. So just, keep that in mind. It's a fun thing to do. You can make your own artwork, but I did not find them fast. So, what do you think? Do you think you might try something like this? If so, would you do it this way, or would you use a piece of loose material? And would you put it in dye? Um, I think if I were going to try this again, I would want to try it on something like a t-shirt, or a tote bag or something like that. And if you do that, put a piece of cardboard underneath what you're going to be doing your pattern on, so that it doesn't, the glue or the wax doesn't kind of go through to the other layer. So please let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think you might try it. Let me know if you've done it before. And if so, what did you use and how did it turn out? I would love to hear about that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel and I really appreciate it. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate anybody subscribing who's not already a subscriber. Thank you for coming along with me on Sherry Tries That, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.